2019 men's cross country season. Coach, let's talk about last year quickly. A younger team, maybe didn't quite reach the potential that they had, but trying to be nice. But just a little bit of a disappointing season. But there's obviously always room for growth, and that's where you can always set the recruiting trail and say, all right, we're going to get better, and I can help with that. So let's talk about last year real quick.
Yeah, last year is kind of the same issue we had with the women's team. We were pretty bottom heavy when it came to newcomers. With only a handful of eligible or healthy returners to kind of guide them along the right path. We worked well with what we had. Everybody gave their all at any point. But, this year will be a little bit different again, similar to the women's, that the kids from last year have learned and grown up a little bit and matured, more ways than one, physically, whatnot. And we've got a lot of freshmen coming in, so it'll be another case of those that learned the hard way from last year know the right way now, and they'll kind of guide the youngins on the same path.
Definitely. Let's break down the roster a little bit. Actually, before that, let's talk about the recruiting trail that you hit. Again, what were you kind of looking for in regards to, hey, we want to get better, and this is how we're going to get better?
Right. For the men's side, we brought in actually quite a few. It was a pretty big class
really
this year.
Team,
I think we're going to be sitting around 23 to 25 total. Right. And really what we looked for was a good amount of talent to kind of add to the front end, which I think we got this year. As well as, it's not always just about the 1 and 2 runner. You need those 3, 4, 5, 6 guys to fill in those scoring positions. So we brought the numbers in. We brought what we think is good talent in. So we'll see how it plays out.
Definitely. All right, let's talk about the returners, and then we can switch over and talk about the new guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Terry Jackson will be the senior for us this year. He'll be leading the way. He's really come a long way since he was a freshman. Definitely a changed man for the better. He's really all in on cross country, and he's doing a great job of leading right now. So I expect big things out of him. And then there's the slightly younger class under him. Julian Davis is back. He's put in a lot of miles this summer. Kids like Jack Miller, Tyler Durbin. I know I'm going to forget or leave off some athletes here, but that whole group of guys that were freshmen last year, they've really put in a lot of work this year to come back, and I'm excited for them.
Yeah, definitely. Newcomers, I know you were talking off camera about, there's a lot of guys that are stepping in that have already shown that this team is definitely got the potential to be considerably better. So highlight some of those guys.
Yeah, 3 names that off the top of my head that I've seen really put themselves up front early on: Vernon Trozzi, William De Jesus, and Axel Arzate Vasquez. Those 3 guys specifically have really shown me that they're ready to rock and roll.
Right.
But you get other athletes: King Berdelfin, Chris Brown. Again, there's like 10 or 12 additional, but those guys have really come a long way as well, just in the past few days. And like we said earlier with the women, it has been an eye-opening experience for some of these guys who maybe aren't used to this kind of workload or intensity, but they're not backing away from it by any means.
Yeah,
they're embracing it.
Anybody that has been a surprise per se, like, whoa, I didn't realize you were that good. I mean, you don't want to knock them and say, I thought you were bad, but they've come out and really been a pleasant surprise.
I think, and he's going to hate that I call him out right here, I think Kenneth Bolton will really be a surprise this year for us, because he was one of our top finishers. We only used him for 1 race last year.
A strong track kid, more than that track, 400, 800, obviously, type kid, but definitely a potential to be a cross country.
He's got the ability to be good over 8K as well, despite cross not being necessarily his favorite for a 4.8 guy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't shy away from hard work either. He puts in the miles that he needs to be good. So we'll be seeing him on the course a few times this year.
Definitely. Let's talk about the schedule in regards to just highlighting the big meets. I mean, you kind of have both sides. You have small meets and you got really big meets. So let's talk about a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, the really big ones for us on schedule are the Augustana meet up in South Dakota. That one's always huge, always a really good time.
Yeah, a lot of big D1s and D2s there.
Oh, absolutely.
Not so much just NAIA. So
it's always fun going up and getting rolled by Nebraska.
Right.
But other big meets, we've got the Brisman Lundin, hosted by Augustana over in Illinois. That one's usually 30 teams or so, possibly more depending on the year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Seminole Valley Stampede hosted by Mount Mercy. That's
Yeah.
always a really big NAIA meet.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a preview, almost a national preview
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah,
So,
especially the Midwest teams, right?
yeah, for sure.
And then on the other end, you've got the Grandview meet. You've got Simpson meet, which is next Saturday, the season opener.
Yep.
Talk about, I guess, what you're looking to gain out of the smaller meets.
Yeah, smaller meets are definitely where we kind of refine our racing strategies. Bigger meets, you're going to be constantly surrounded by people.
Yeah.
You get to work with people at all times. Smaller meets kind of forces you to be alone at certain points in the race, forces you to kind of think about your race strategy, and just how you're going to execute that plan.
Right, definitely. Talk about conference-wise. Again, you got the likes of Mid-American Nazarene, Benedictine, Baker, Central Methodist, Mount Mercy, etc. I mean, there's several teams that are usually right there at the top. Who do you figure is going to be again, or not again, but who do you figure is going to be at the top? When it comes early November, any dark horses, and then where does William Penn fit in?
Yeah, this year, offhand, I think Mount Mercy is probably going to come back again pretty strong. They did have a recent coaching change, which you never know how that's going to play into the team.
Exactly.
But they've always got a really good squad of guys. I expect them to do very well. Same thing with Mid-American Nazarene. They're always within the top 3 at any point, for sure. Beyond that, I'd be interested to see how Baker's going to do this year.
Yeah.
They graduated one of their better national qualifying athletes. So anytime you lose a top-end guy, it's kind of up in the air depending on whether you replace them or not. So I'll be looking to see what they can do this season.
Dark horses, anybody that's I think they have a chance. Just the rumor mill's been talking about them a lot.
I'm going to stick with Central Methodist again. I said the same thing on the women's side, but
Yeah.
they're kind of playing the same game on the men's side with kind of flying under the radar, but loading up on some good talent.
All right, how much of a dark horse is William Penn? And where are we going to fall?
I think last year, again, the same boat as the women. We were about 11th out of 12 teams.
Right.
Which again is disappointing. Is a good word for it, but
Yeah.
we brought in some really good runners, and I think we're going to make a pretty big jump this year. I'd be happy with 6th or 7th.
Yeah. What are going to be the keys to getting to 6th or 7th and possibly even higher? I mean, there is the potential.
Oh, there's always potential.
Yeah. It's always potential in the preseason. I'd love to use that P word.
Keys for the guys, I think, are going to be tightening that 1 to 5 gap. Because right now there are 4 to 5 guys that are pretty close together. We had a fitness test this past Tuesday, and you get 4 guys that finish within 100 meters of each other over that certain time. It's always promising. The less gap you have between 1 and 5, the better the team score.
Right.
That'll be important for us.
They can definitely feed off of each other in that respect.
Absolutely.
Again, where you're talking in a smaller meet where there may be, and again, not always saying that you're running with your teammates in a bigger meet, because that's not the case probably, but you're running with other people that can push you, et cetera. But if you're running with your own teammates, obviously you're running next to a Mount Mercy kid, they're not going to want to push you. Go faster, William Penn. No, I'm just not going to say that. But in a situation, player runner B of William Penn, they're going to feed off each other and push each other. So again, that understanding how that 1 through 5 gap needs to be as tight as possible so they can work off each other. So
definitely.
Simpson, Bill Buxton Open Classic, whatever we call it over there, in Indianola next Friday. That will be the season opener for the men and women. So if you have an opportunity to get over to Indianola, check them out. Also, they'll be with throughout the Midwest for the next couple of months. So definitely get out and check on the team if you can't. Everything William Penn Athletics is on statesmanathletics.com. So, Coach, best of luck this season. We'll keep tabs on you. So.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.